I'll just follow your guys' lead.
Yeah, okay. I think that what we might do is maybe Jacob and I will be, the captain and I will be over here, and the Stern family will be here,
Okay.
and maybe a big wide shot.
Maybe similar to the shot that's up right now.
That would be great, even a little tighter.
Okay.
Would work. Yeah.
Oh, look, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, we call that a confidence monitor, and that shows you what's being recorded.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
So you will see the camera, we have 3 cameras, and the camera will switch, and 2 of the cameras, Steve is able to change in real time. So you might see zooming in or pulling back or whatever. So you'll see exactly what the viewer online would see.
What an amazing
Yeah,
setup.
it seems like you've become a film production manager over the last couple of years.
It's funny how things are. I'm not sure if they're shared exactly, but my major in college was television broadcast management. And we had a lot of production classes, and I worked in a TV production, 2 TV production houses. So,
Oh my goodness, so it's
that is
coming back.
it's very familiar to me.
Yeah, that's really
And
great.
Steve, I shouldn't brag about him, but he does the same work at First Unitarian Society.
I usually do the audio side there.
Oh, okay.
So, but here I do both.
Yes.
So.
Amazing.
He's very
We
experienced.
so enjoyed all the online
Oh,
services.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when the community did this renovation last year, it was like so great with this with the enhanced system, the cameras and everything.
So great.
It's really, it gives us such flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in fact, we are recording leader tape. So if you see the slide up there, it says that our worship begins at 5:30 p.m. Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to begin airing 10 minutes before that time next Friday evening.
Okay.
So right now, this is just up so that people online can actually find us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they can say, oh, here we are. And it says we're starting at 5:30, which is when.
We learned very early on that we need to do that, because if you start a program right when, then people panic because they have to constantly refresh the page.
Yeah.
So we love
Yeah.
Right. So, you can tell your dad exactly
Yes,
what
we're doing these two.
How much time do we have, Steve?
We got about another 9 minutes, 8-9 minutes.
Okay.
6:47, let's say.
Okay.
Are we doing basically one shot?
Yes,
Okay.
one shot. We always do one shot, so we're gonna try.
And do you want us to leave masks on? What do you want to do?
Yeah, leave masks on. I think we're trying to set an example at this moment.
Great.
You know, for the month of April, we are pretty much masking.
Mhm.
Okay.
The task force is actually going to meet toward the end of April and say, maybe now there's an opportunity for us to be optional. We'll see.
Mhm.
We'll see what happens to the infection rates and things like that.
Yeah.
Also, I just couldn't get to it until late this afternoon, but I made some comments on the program.
Oh, great.
Oh, thank you.
So you can.
And we got the email about your question, which we can answer right
Okay.
after.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. But
And then, how are you feeling?
I'm good. You know, I was telling the rest of the family, I only have like upper respiratory problems,
Right.
and those were just like runny nose and cold symptoms.
Yeah.
I didn't think I had anything more than a cold. But I guess PCR tests, they don't have false positives, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
But
Well, now you have super immunity for a little bit, right?
or so something. I
Or
don't
so
know.
something.
So something. I have to, I was telling, next November, I'm planning on going on a bicycle ride in Israel.
Oh, cool.
And so in order to get into the country, they may require certain, as they do now, they may require certain vaccinations and such. So I'm trying to time my taking the booster, the second booster, so that the 6-month expiration purportedly of that booster is going to be long after I come back.
Yeah.
Smart.
So, I'm taking advantage maybe of the immunity that I have
Okay,
now.
yeah, to be able to.
And that's what I've heard is that, many people can wait until the end of the summer because
Oh.
infection rates will tend to go down in the summer since we'll all be outside.
Right, that's true.
But then the fall is when things might ramp up again, and that's what we really need to.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
That's what I heard on the radio. But you hear changing information all the time. So.
And because we really don't know.
Yeah.
We're learning as we go.
There are those who would say, oh, the government is incompetent because it can't tell us. Well, the government doesn't,
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know.
No one knows.
The CDC
if you'd like, we could, do a video check for the candle blessing.
Yeah. You want us to stand up and you can see what shot you want?
Sure.
I'm not gonna use the confidence monitor, because that'll go on the screen, but I have my own view.
Yeah.
Whoever's gonna be reading should be in the, you don't have to get that close.
It's pretty good quality condenser mic.
How does that look to you, Steve?
Give me,
And we'll
10 more
presumably,
seconds.
I mean, I'll presumably still be standing over here.
yep, I just wanna get a nice close shot. There we go.
Well, my shoes are tall.
Good, that looks good, thank you.
Yep.
And if you all, at the end, when you do the kiddush, you may or may not be familiar with the holiday kiddush melody that the cantor will offer. So, since you have masks,
Yeah.
just be present.
Okay, that's good advice.
I try to keep it as straightforward as I can, but I still understand, you know, not everyone knows the festival tune.
Yeah.
But, and just like with the candlelight, come up here and stand at the table, there's grape juice for you, and again, matzah. Don't eat too much, please, just for your own benefit, but,
I'll use the typical Shabbat tune for the beginning of the kiddush, for the
Okay.
short
Okay.
beginning one.
how are you all? You all look great, you all look healthy, and
So far, we've all been
Yeah.
healthy.
thank God,
Yeah.
good.
We're very excited about bar mitzvah coming up.
I know.
I can only imagine, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's just
You should do a
a few weeks away.
French braid.
Less.
You know, I'm not sure if Ben has told you, but whenever I meet with him, I see in the background that wonderful wall
Oh.
texture that you have. And I said, it looks like a city, and it was New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
That's such a nice, it's such a fun thing.
It was our homesick project,
Yeah.
you know, when we moved, and so we
Okay.
have little gold paint, you know, where important people live, you know. So his mom's house and our old house and dear friends, so. Yeah.
Sometimes I watch NCIS New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
They're very big with maps, and so
Okay.
I was saying, man, it doesn't make sense. Although I first thought it was London.
Ah.
Yeah.
The river that goes right through the city.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it got so wide, I said London, but then I said maybe not because of that wide thing, which I don't think the Thames gets wide like that
Yeah.
around the city of London. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a fun project. Nelson did most of them. Mostly her family.
Or you can do other guys. Oh, this one.
That's Target.
Oh, yeah.
You should do the braids and circles.
We're doing, I think we're doing half up.
What's the half of, oh, like Klingon Jin.
Yeah.
You get Netflix, right? I'm watching, what is it called? Servant of the People. It's Vladimir Zelensky.
Oh,
Oh.
right.
Sitcom.
Oh, it's on
It's on Netflix
Netflix?
again.
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They brought it, I guess they had it at one time, and then they replaying
Yeah.
it. It's only 8 or 10 episodes. I've only watched like almost 2.
Okay.
But it's clever.
We should
Huh.
watch it.
Yeah, I would love to
Wait,
watch. I've heard.
Yeah, he was an actor, and
He
he
was-
played the
He was a
president.
comedian, actually.
Yeah, he
That's
he played a teacher who sort of almost
Became-
accidentally became president.
Yeah.
Is it in English?
No, it was in Russian.
It's in Ukrainian.
Then you okay.
With subtitles.
With English subtitles.
Yeah.
I should watch it.
The first episode has a lot of profanity.
Oh, okay.
We
Good
can
stuff.
handle that.
Give fair warning. I'm
That's
sure.
good, good warning.
I'm sure, yeah. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach to you. It's a pleasure to have you with us here on this eve of Shabbat and on this eve of our holiday of Passover, our holiday of freedom. Cantor?
So a tune to bring us into this season, one that was inspired by the preparation for the Pesach holiday, something that we can kind of really feel down in our bones and in our kishkes.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you, Cantor. Here is wishing you a joyous holiday, a restful Shabbat, both beginning tonight. How fortunate we are. You know, we greet the holiday with the words Chag Sameach, and these sort of are implied from the verse in Deuteronomy 16, which says, V'samachta b'chagecha v'hayita ach sameach, which says, you shall rejoice on your festivals, and then you shall be truly happy. And that's the trick of this season. The trick is being happy and at the same time trying to empathize with the ancient Israelites and how they left Egypt in a status of degradation and they were able to escape slavery. So being happy is at the same time we are remembering difficult times in our history. Now, we're happy that we're no longer experiencing those times, that's for sure. But we also have to empathize, which means we have to understand what suffering is about. We have to be able to then reach out to people who are suffering and be able to help them. And believe me, that also brings joy. That also brings a feeling of happiness when we can help people, when we can help others move from their own oppressions to a time of freedom. And that is from a time of degradation to a time of holiness and a time of praiseworthiness. That's why we can be glad on this festival for our celebrations, because they make us think about our responsibilities to the rest of the world. It is a pleasure and a privilege for me to invite the Stern family, who in just a little over a week will be celebrating a simcha here in our community. The Sterns are here to offer blessings over the candles and later on offer kiddush and motzi with us as well. So I want to invite the Stern family to come and join us here. And I want to invite the community to turn to page 385 in the prayer book. Page 385, as we offer these blessings for the beginning of Shabbat and the beginning of the holiday of Passover.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Do that one.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech v'kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov.
Continuing on page 384, may these festival lights open our eyes to the joys in life, beauty that delights the eye, freedom to be ourselves, the knowledge of Torah that shapes our moral being, the heritage of celebration that unites us as a people. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this season.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
You know, on Passover, we say during the Seder, we will say in a little while, we say, B'chol dor v'ador, in each generation we are to view ourselves as though we personally experienced the misery of slavery and came forth from the land of Egypt, from that land of narrowness and pain, to a time and a place of freedom. And so when we think about that, we wonder why in each generation do we tell the story? It is because in each generation there are new oppressions to confront. In each generation there are new people to teach what it means to empathize with others and to empathize with the plight of people who need our help. In all of these ways, we celebrate this holiday of Passover in joy and in anticipation, not simply because of this wonderful meal that will await us, but because of the messages of this day and the true inspiration that we take from this day into our work in the world. But this is also Shabbat, of course, and so we invite you to turn to page 390 in the prayer book, and we begin with Psalm 92, this Shabbat psalm, always remembering that this is a day of rest and joy as well.
Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer leshimcha elyon Tov lehodot Adonai, Tov lehodot Adonai, Tov lehodot Adonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, Tov lehodot Adonai. Lehagid baboker chatzlecha, lehagid baboker chatzlecha, ve'emunatcha baleilot, tov lehodot Adonai, lehagid baboker chatzlecha, lehagid baboker chatzlecha, ve'emunatcha baleilot, tov lehodot l'Adonai.
We continue on page 392 with the Reader's Kaddish. We invite everyone to rise, and we continue with melodies that'll be a little bit different, Cantor, is that
And
right?
unique to the festival evening service, but hopefully with enough that's familiar that we can still all be together. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחיי חון וביומי חון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי תקודשה.
בריחו.
בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ועלמה. ואמרו Amen.
On page 394, a call to worship the Baruch Hu.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
On 396, we read together, Praised are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the times and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity.
El Chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravi.
Amen. On 398, we continue together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen. Page 400.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue on page 402, joining Cantor in Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'beitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 405, we continue at the middle of the page. We read this responsively. Doubting is but a forefront of faith, a faith in the infinite growth of an unbounded creation.
A doubting age is one of restlessness and discontent with what is current. A doubt is an idea that is still alive.
To doubt that the past has uncovered all things is to express faith that many things are still to be uncovered.
To doubt that we have grown to our full stature and knowledge is to express faith that we may develop into beings of such power and dignity that we cannot as yet imagine what shall be.
On page 406.
Bringing back that melody from the beginning. And now a melody of the season. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh pelech malchutecha ra'uvanecha hokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Amen. On page 409, I'm reading. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Blessed is the guardian of Israel, whose love gives light to all the world.
Baruch atah Adonai, hapore sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. We're now going to offer some time for silent prayer. Now, never talking or expressing silence is very hard for us. We always seem to need to raise our voices and to then act out on our convictions. But the time for silence is really an opportunity for us to think about how we raise our voices and in what way we offer protest or in what way we offer support. So time of silence isn't always just silent and it isn't always just quiet, but really it is an opportunity for us to begin the process of change, to begin the process of protest, to begin the process of making a difference in the world. It is our time to gain strength and then to act on our convictions. The tefillah for this festival evening can be found on pages 468 and 469 and following. Or you can just spend time thinking about those important thoughts that allow you to find your conviction and act on it. We pause for some silent prayer. We're on page 492, at the bottom of the page.
Oseh shalom v'imroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Oseh shalom bimroma, Ose shalom imromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru
I'd like to invite the community to turn to page 371 in the prayer book. It is now our opportunity to offer prayers of healing, wholeness, and hope on behalf of people who are ill on this night, who may not have such a joy of celebrating this day of Shabbat and of Passover because they find themselves in the hospital or because they find themselves victim of other illness that keeps them at home. We have almost 100 names on our healing list here at Temple, and perhaps you would like to offer names in the comment section online, or if there are names of people whom you think about too, people who need our special prayers of healing and wholeness, we keep them in our hearts. And although we don't know how God operates or how God responds to our prayers, we do know this, that when an individual knows that we, a religious community, are praying on their behalf, that raises their spirit and allows them to increase the healing powers they have within themselves. So if you'd like to offer a name of anybody whom you're thinking of who needs particular healing and wholeness at this time. We think of everybody who need these prayers. At the middle of page 371, we continue with Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Our worship continues now on page 586. We invite you all to rise for Aleinu. Again, page 586 at the top of the page.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated. On page 591, we continue reading together as a community. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of the righteous always be a blessing. On page 594, I offer this poem. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools, this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. At this moment, we offer the names of those individuals whom we are remembering this week, we as a community, and when you watch online, you too can be remembering those whom you love. These are those whom we remember because of their recent passings. We remember with love Nancy Follett, a beloved member of our temple, and Dr. Michael E. Becker, a beloved member of our synagogue. We also remember these whose Yahrzeit occur at this time. Mildred Agins, Irving Berman, Shirley Cohn, Norman Cousin, Sadie Dinian, Eva Dizen, Ivy Drazen Edelman, Bertha Feldman, Carol M. Fells, Honey Fields, Renee Goffman, Ralph E. Klein, Sam Krinsky, Richard D. Levine, Irving E. Levy, Linda Luders, George S. Marcus, Josephine S. Mendow, Fanny L. Michaels, Rose Malovsky, Marshall Mitzman, Robert E. Monat, Eleanor Oppenheimer, Sewell Potter, Toby Ida Raff, Ted Reeder, David Rubin, Carolyn Sachs, Leah Siegel, May B. Sinaiko, Kenneth Hirsch Solomon, Paul Turkheimer, Dorothy Weisfield, and Leslie Arthur Wickens. And on this Passover Eve, on this Eve of Shabbat, we are also remembering those Israeli citizens who have died in recent acts of terror. We recognize the difficult situation of people of all religions and all faith in that land, and we remember them with righteous memory. There may be people whom you are remembering as well. There may be others whom need to be remembered on this night. And if you think of someone's name, you can offer it here in our sanctuary or offer it on the comment section online. So if you think of someone, please offer their names. We want to know who they are. Testifying then to the faith that binds the generations of humanity together, we remember all of them in righteousness, and we invite you to turn to page 598 in the prayer book, page 598, and together as a community we rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Again, page 598, we read the Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, u'v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei v'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
May God send peace to those who mourn and comfort you who are bereaved. And we say, Amen. Please be seated. Our service is about to conclude, and when it does, we will be offering blessings of joy and blessings of gratitude for the sustenance that we are all about to eat this evening at our Seder tables or our dinner tables, whatever is your particular way of observing this Erev Chag, this night of Passover Eve and Shabbat Eve as well. But just first, a few announcements. First, I really want to thank the Stern family for being with us. Again, in 8 days from now, we will be observing the bar mitzvah of Ben Stern, who is going to come to our bima and celebrate with us. So we're so happy that that's going to happen. And we make it our tradition, of course, that about 8 days before one of our b'nai mitzvah, that the family honors us by their presence, and they are with us here tonight. So thank you so much for being here and taking your time to be here. Thank you to my bima partner, Cantor Jacob Namey. Thank you very much. We want to wish you just a happy holiday and just a few brief announcements. First of all, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, there will be Torah study, again, led by Steve Olson from our Torah study group. Tomorrow evening beginning at 6 p.m. will be our community Passover Seder. That's here in our building, luckily and thankfully. This coming week, our religious calendar continues with the following. On Thursday, April 21st, again, this is all during the week of Passover, the office will close on Thursday, the 21st at noon. But at 5 o'clock that afternoon, here on our bima, in our sanctuary, we will have Yizkor prayers of remembrance. Next Friday evening, on Friday, April 22nd, the office will be closed all day because it's the last day of Passover in our Reform tradition. But we will have regular worship at 7:30 that evening when, again, for the Reform Jews in our community, Passover concludes and we begin Shabbat without a day of Chag, without a day of festival, but that's okay too. So join us for that. Next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, again, there will be Torah study at 9 o'clock in the morning online, led by me. I'm leading Torah study next Saturday morning. And we also then at 10:30 a.m. next Saturday, April 23rd, offer you the opportunity to share with us online the bar mitzvah, or if you want to come and be present, that's okay too, at 10:30 a.m. as Ben Stern and joins his family in celebration for that wonderful day. For more details on any of these programs, please go to tbemadison.org for more information, for registration, or for anything else about our community. Thank you for joining us this evening. Cantor, any other announcements that we need to make at this time?
I think that we're all right.
Okay. Well, at this point, then, I want to invite everyone to turn to page 386 in the prayer book. This is for the Kiddush for this festival and Shabbat evening. So again, page 386. The Stern family is going to help lead Kiddush for this holiday. Cantor, do you want to say anything about the melody?
Just to note that because it's a festival evening, there will be a slightly different melody, but hopefully it is somewhat familiar to us, and we'll work our way through it together.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei beri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol am, ורוממנו מכל לשון, וקידשנו במצוותיו, ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה. שבתות למנוחה, ומועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון. את יום השבת ואת יום חג המצות הזה, זמן חירותנו, מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. ושבת ומועדי קודשך, באהבה וברצון, בשמחה ובששון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת וישראל והזמנים. אמן. חיים, חיים.
And if you'd like to follow the text of Hamotzi, it's on page 606. Let me invite the Stern family if you'd like to take some matzah, because we're starting matzah tonight. So we will offer a bracha over matzah, and then we'll have some concluding music for one another.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz
v'te'avon. We're going to have a lot of crumbs around the sanctuary. It's okay, not a problem. Let me put this over here, and you can put that down if you like. We want to invite people now. To conclude our service, we're going to be offering words from Psalm 118. Some of these, this melody you likely will know. We've offered it here before. Cantor, you want to?
So this comes from a psalm that we recite for all festival days, and we can all be seated for all festival days and even the beginning of each Hebrew calendar month. But the words min hametzar karatiya anani v'merchavya, the word metzar kind of resonates a little bit with like the word Mitzrayim, the word for Egypt. This idea that we call to God from a narrow place and that God answers from the wide expanse. It also reminds me a lot of that idea of moving from that space of degradation to that sense of praiseworthiness that Rabbi was speaking about at the beginning of the service, which is one of our themes of the Pesach Seder. So from degradation, sorry, I have a little bit of matzah.
It happens. Yes.
From degradation to praiseworthiness, from narrowness to expansiveness.
And it's on page 565 of the prayer book. If you look on 565, toward the bottom, Psalm 118 here is divided into two different portions. There's more of it, which is continued on the next page. But on 585, the part that begins at the indented section, that's where we will be offering this psalm of praise and happiness.
Just 4 lines of Hebrew at that indent. Min hametzar karatiya ayanani v'merchavya. Min hametzar karatiya anani v'merchavya. Min hametzar karatiya ayanani v'merchavya. Min hametzar karatiya anani v'merchavya. Adonai li lo ira, ma yaseni adam. Adonai li lo ira, יעשני אדם. אדוני לי לא יירא, יעשני אדם. אדוני לי לא יירא, ומה יעשני אדם. מן המיצר קראתיה, ענני במרחביה. מן המיצר קראתיה, ענני במרחביה. אדוני לי לא יירא, מה יעשני אדם. אדוני לי לא יירא, ומה יעשני אדם. מן המיצר קראתיה, ענני במרחביה. מן המיצר קראתיה, ענני במרחביה.
May the joy of this season reverberate and resonate with you throughout the year ahead. And may we all benefit from the joy of one another, doing God's will in the world. Shabbat Shalom.
And Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Be well all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And Chag Sameach. It's like celebrating Passover yet another time.